Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Leo. Again, welcome to the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. So let's take a look at your email that you sent to me. You said, I've already started your program for 2 days. For this moment, I'm mainly focusing on reading and vocabulary building. Good idea. You say, for reading practice, I'm using the network called Engaging English, which is recommended by ETS. I'm wondering if I need to do some extra practice like Barron or Cambridge programs for TOEFL IBT preparation. In addition, can you give me some advice on how to follow your 7 steps? Is it necessary to follow your 7 steps from one to another, or can I do some of them at the same time? Great questions. Okay. First of all, let me answer the one question. I think the Engaging English program, I just went to the website to check it out. It looks like a really, really good online program. It matches your current ability with good reading practice exercises. It has charts to help you see your improvement over time. It looks like it has some really, really good stuff, I think, to help you improve your basic reading information. So I would keep doing it. You say extra practice like Barron's or Cambridge programs. If you want to do some reading comprehension tests or some listening comprehension tests, I would say yes. You can use some of those books for that if you want specific feedback in those areas. For the speaking and the writing, the pronunciation, vocabulary areas, and also reading and listening, but I can cover all these other areas and give you plenty of practice that you need to help you get better during the TOEFL IBT. So let's get back to one of your questions. Do you need to follow the steps one by one? I'm going to say yes. The only exception is if you look at the vocabulary words I'm teaching in Vocabulary Lesson 3 and Vocabulary Lesson 4, Leo, if you think you already understand all those words, then skip it. That means that your vocabulary is probably good enough for the TOEFL IBT and you want to focus in other areas. So I would start with step 1, lesson 1, at least begin each lesson, and then maybe after 10 or 15 minutes you can make a decision if you think you can benefit from the lesson, which means one of my speaking lessons, it's about coherence. It talks about how to connect your speaking and your writing tasks, for example. It talks about 4 techniques: using transition words, using determiners and pronouns, using parallel structure, and then repeating and rephrasing key terms. These are 4 techniques you can use to organize your ideas. Now, if you've already read about this information, if you know this information already, obviously, don't spend a lot of time with that particular lesson. Does that make sense? So I do recommend you at least start each lesson. Now, the main purpose, I think, where I really can benefit you, remember that you can use a TOEFL book. You can use the Engaging English program, right? You can use a lot of things to help you, but you need somebody when you're doing your speaking and your writing practice test. The bottom line is you need to take a practice test. You need a TOEFL professional like me to listen to it or to read it, and then to give you a grade, a score, and tell you specifically in terms of your introduction, your body paragraphs, and your conclusion what you need to do to score higher. And there's no book that's going to do that. In fact, there's not a lot of online services that are going to do that. There's not even a lot of TOEFL programs in the classroom that do this, but that's exactly what I will do when you get into the speaking and the writing steps. You go through a series of lessons, Leo, and then you begin taking practice tests one by one by one. You make some changes, you get a score, you can try it again, maybe you do better, and through taking the practice test and getting feedback from me, you begin making changes, and you become better, and you become better and better and better. Just like one of my TOEFL students who just recently, after 3 months of using my service, she just got 26 points out of 30 on the TOEFL IBT. And you can do this too, right? It's just a matter of practicing. So, whenever you do a practice test, I will also make recommendations if you need to go back and review any of the vocabulary, pronunciation, or grammar, or any other step or lessons that I'm teaching in my 7-step system. Which brings me to another question you're asking me. You said, Michael, can I work on more than one step at the same time? The answer is yes. And I would recommend not doing all 7 at the same time. That is just too much information for you. But I think 3. Work on the first 3 steps ideally for about 4 weeks. That would be pronunciation. Let's start from the first, though. It would be vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. Those are my foundation or basic English steps. Once you understand the basic English, then you're ready to get into the TOEFL English. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a foundation. I give you a good, strong foundation, and from there, then you get into your speaking, your writing, your listening, and your reading areas. Anyway, thank you for contacting me, and I'm glad to have you as a student, and keep the questions coming. There's really no bad question that you can ask me so long as it relates to the TOEFL, your English study, anything like that. So good luck to you.